So in this class, we are going to discuss about the test types. Okay. So we already have a brief introduction on all these functional as well as non-functional testing. So let's understand the things based on the definitions. So if you see functional testing, we are having smoke, sanity, installation, compatibility, regression, acceptance, and development testing, conformance testing. Okay. When it comes to non-functional testing, we have so many other testing types. One is performance, load, volume, endurance, stress, spike, security, stability, concurrency, recovery, usability, baseline, compliance, and documentation testing is nothing but help testing, help documentation testing, and localization and internalization testing. Okay, some of them here are similar to one another. For example, load and volume testing both are similar, and localization and internalization is similar. Okay, so let's discuss with one by one. Okay, so when it comes to unit testing, so testing the smallest piece of code is nothing but unit testing. Okay, so do not worry something which is there here, but remember, so unit testing is nothing but testing the smallest piece of the code, smallest functionality of the code. We can call it as unit testing, and this particular unit testing is done by, most of the times it will be done by development team. Okay, and nowadays the testing team is also following it. So only thing you need to remember is testing the smallest unit of code is nothing but unit testing. Okay, and what is the integration testing? So integration testing is nothing but combining multiple. Integration testing is nothing but combining multiple modules and finding out the interaction between those modules and testing the interactions, right? Okay, let's say if you take any application, it will be having multiple, will be having multiple modules. For example, if we take a banking system, okay, it will be having multiple modules. Somebody will call it as component, somebody will call it as module. Okay, let's go with the module. We'll be having multiple modules. One is login module, and the other one is view balance and fund transfer, right? So if you see, that is the relationship between fund transfer and view balance. For example, once you transfer the fund, so the view balance will be affected, right? Let's say you are having $1,000 and you are transferring $200, and the balance would be $800, right? So that means as and when a transfer is happened, the view balance code will be interacted, right? So we have to test, once the fund transfer is done, what are the modules are going to be affected. For example, in this case, view balance is going to be affected because as and when we transfer some amount, so some of the money from the balance will be detected, right? So we have to ensure the interaction between this fund transfer and balance is working fine. First we need to find out the interaction between the view for we need to find out the interaction between fund transfer. So when you do a fund transfer, what are the modules will be impacted? Okay, let's find out all those modules. For example, a module A, B, C is going to be impacted. In that case, what is the interaction between fund transfer and module A? What is the interaction between fund transfer and module B? And what is the interaction between fund transfer and C? Let's find out all those interactions and write some test cases to ensure these interactions are working fine. For example, if you want to write a test case for for these two modules, so the interaction is, once I transfer the fund, the account has to be reduced by $200. Okay, if I do the fund transfer as $200. Okay, let's write a test case. Do the fund transfer of $200. Let's make sure view balance is updated. Okay, in this case, what we have to do? So the expected output will be should be updated to $800 because we have $1,000 in the initial, and after doing a fund transfer of 200 we should have $800. Okay, so that's okay. So now what you need to remember is about the integration testing. Okay, combining multiple modules and finding out the interaction between all those modules and writing test cases for all these interactions and making sure these interactions are working fine. Okay, that's about integration testing. Okay, then comes to system testing. What is the system testing? So if you see, there is a very common question between these two things. Okay, what is the integration testing and what is the system testing, and what is the difference between these two testings? Okay, this is a very common question in the interview.